I hope we are all doing well and we enjoyed our inchenche breakfast. So this morning we've gathered for our Founders Day lecture, and we're going to be having a lecture on
All Perscoba present. All Perscoba present. With all respect, shall you rise for a word of prayer? We begin our prayer in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Father, Lord in heaven, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the gifts of life, the gifts of grace, and the gifts of prosperity. You never cease to shower upon us every day. We thank you for the life of our dear Nananum, all Perscoba present, and everyone here today. We thank you for bringing us together to meet here from wherever we came from, both far and near. We pray that, Lord, you may guide and protect us. Whatever we do here today, may it be a success. Whatever duty or role we have to play over here, may you make us do it to the glory of your name. And at the end of the day, we shall see that this program was a huge success. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen. And our prayer in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you very much, Asha. Just a few told us to put this homecoming and this Founders Day lecture together. I want us to acknowledge assured advisors. Assured advisors. I want us to acknowledge them with a round of applause. And then let's also acknowledge Imperial General Assurance. They have also been very supportive. And then Virtual Security Africa. And of course, our hosts, Freedom Hills Hotel. It's our hope and confidence that this sponsorship will be a long-term partnership so that we will continue to build a very productive, mutually productive relationship and help to impact the future generation of our country. So we're going to go on with the event, and I would want us to receive the welcome address from the Global President of the Association. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome His Lordship, David Wafo, as he gives us the welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. And that's a breath. We are extremely grateful for gracing this occasion for us. But before I read the address, just want to remind all of us that we lost our former global president, Mr. Benefifa, just last year. In fact, we were supposed to have had this lecture in February, but we had, out of respect for him, we had to push it to after his funeral. His funeral was on the 1st of March. So I would want us to observe a minute silence for him, and not just him, another very committed Perscoba, Dr. Osei-Anim, a dentist, one of the most, Dr. Makwa, past Vice President of Perscoba Global, fellow Perscoba, and distinguished guests. It is with great honor and profound gratitude that I stand before you today as we celebrate the 68th Founders Day of our beloved institution. This occasion is not just a moment of reflection, but a powerful reminder of the vision, sacrifice, and dedication that built the foundation upon which we stand. 68 years ago, our founders dared to dream of an institution that would not only impart knowledge, but instill values of service, integrity, and excellence. Today, we gather to celebrate that vision and to remind ourselves of our duty to honor their sacrifices by giving back to our community and paving the way for future generations. The theme of this year's lecture resonates deeply with the essence of our journey. Perscoba was founded. As we listen to our esteemed speaker today, I encourage us all to reflect on how we, in our capacities, can be agents of change. Let us use this moment to renew our pledge to be architects of a brighter future, to lead with purpose, and to leave an indelible mark on both our alma mater and society. On behalf of Perscoba Global, I welcome you all to this special occasion. Let us celebrate, learn, and be inspired to do more. Thank you, and may this Founders Day ignite in us a renewed spirit of service and sacrifice. Thank you. And before I hand over to the MC, our 70th anniversary is 2 years away. So just to remind all of us that we have 2 years within which to plan. And you'll be hearing from the global executives very soon on how we intend to execute the 70th anniversary in terms of the activities itself and also in terms of a legacy project from Perscoba Global to the school. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President says that giving back is not just an act of generosity, but it's an act of responsibility. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I will move on straight away to introduce the chairman for today's proceedings. The chairman is a very accomplished, one of our very distinguished old students. He entered St. Peter's in November 1962. So by then, Kwame Nkrumah was the president of Ghana. 1962, and he completed the school in 69. And then from then on, he moved on to become a student at the University of Ghana Medical School, the first Perscoba to be admitted into that prestigious medical school in Ghana. And because of his brilliance and because of his brilliance and academic prowess, he joined the school in the second year. So he didn't even enter the medical school from first year. He just joined and he was admitted into second year. And I think that is something that we have to, and this was at the time when the school was even not that old, young, and we started seeing such exploits even as way back at that time. And then he completed the University of Ghana Medical School in 1974. I was still not born. I was not even a concept. And then, so from then on, he started work. He's worked in various medical facilities in Ghana. He's worked at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. He's worked at the famous Efia Kwanta Regional Hospital, where we recently built a statue there. I won't tell you which statue, but if you know, you know. You also be there. I will tell you that. So he worked all these years until 1984, when he started his own practice called Nkarie Clinic in a suburb in Kumasi in the Ashanti region of Ghana. 1984. By then, I was beginning to be born, because he started in May and I was born in December of 1984. So by then, I had become a concept. I was still in formation. And he's one of our very active members. And guess what? While he was in St. Peter's, he used to be very active in sports. So he played football, he was in athletics, and he did so many things. And as I speak to you on this 15th of March, 2025, I can tell you that he still plays football at the age of 78. So yesterday he told us, when we met with the students, he told us that when he entered St. Peter's, his weight, this is a lesson for all of us, his weight was 48 kilograms when he entered St. Peter's in 1962. And in 2025, his weight is 50 kg. So all of us who have been eating a lot and all that, he told us that we shouldn't eat too much. So it's a lesson for all of us, and I hope that by the time the university is 70, we would all have done something about what he said. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure and a privilege to introduce to you Dr. Yaokwa as our chairman for today's proceedings.
Good morning, everybody. Your Royal Highness, Nana, our guest speaker, David, and all the organizing committee. I'm very grateful to you for having called me today to come and chair this very august meeting. It is a privilege extended to me which baffles me. I am very pleased to have been selected to chair this function. David and the others have said a lot. Nana and our guest speaker have more to say. All that I'm left for me to do is to welcome you to this meeting. I sincerely believe that everybody who has anything to do with this meeting will do it diligently. And all of us who are left to listen will also do likewise. At the end of it all, we sincerely believe that we will have achieved something worth it, something very worthy with which we can go home and then inform all those who couldn't get the opportunity to come here today about what we have done today. St. Peter's, to me in particular, is something I just can't talk about, because I was in my village, in rural Ashanti, when Father Erzben, Father Holtzy, Brother Prekamos, Father Peter Woldenberg sent an emissary from Opokura Secondary School to fetch me from my village to come to Nkwetia. It is something that has surprised me, something that has baffled me till now. And they brought me here, did everything for me until eventually in '69 I left for the medical school. Had it not been St. Peter's, I would say I've been in my village in Amanchia hunting rats. Exactly so, because there would have not been any opportunity for me to get the education that I got. And the education that I got is another thing. But the most important thing I learned from St. Peter's is discipline and dignity. These are the two values that have kept me till today. I sincerely believe that the school still is ahead in discipline and in dignity to the human race, just like our anthem says. So without wasting much of the time, I'll introduce Nana and our guest speaker. Nana, the Oyoko Royal Odishie, Kodo Yabua Jemfi, completed St. Peter's School in 1989 with a big distinction. Odishie Jemfi traveled to Germany to pursue a course in hotel management. Odishie Jemfi decided to pursue more academic excellence, and this led him to pursue professional certification in logistics and building services. He was installed chief in 2022 as Dasibre Koku Boateng III, Omanhene of New Jabin traditional area. Audience, this is Nana. And Nana, we thank you very much for coming to this function today. It is a very great pleasure and honor that you have done to us. Thanks very much. And our guest speaker today is Richard. Rich, you are welcome. Richard is currently the Group Chief Executive for Durham and Chestnut Holdings, a Pan-African education technology group with footprint in multiple countries outside Ghana. Perscoba Richard, popularly called Senior Balai. Later on, I'll ask him how he came to be called that. Perscoba called, where is it? Senior Balai is also a past global president. Richard and his team designed and executed the National Digital Literacy Project in partnership with the Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service. In the last few years, his focus has been on building an EdTech venture across Africa in partnership with global brands. Rich, you are welcome to this meeting. And before I sit down, I want to congratulate all of you for being able to come here. And you need a lot of praise because you have left your jobs, you have traveled far and near to be here. So welcome, magna cum laude.
Good. Is it still morning? Good morning. Osei. Good morning, Nana. Nana, dear, are you like, I don't know, whether a ram or a cow or a bullock or how many two, eh? Everybody around me has gone to see Nana. My father, my siblings, even my business partners have gone to see Nana. I haven't yet, so I'll try and do a deal before we go. Reduce it from 2 to maybe half. Okay, so it's always a pleasure to serve or be called upon to serve Perscoba. My work, maybe over the last, since, I don't know, 2018, 19, has been in education technology, and it's been an interesting ride. And even for us in the space, the pace of change is quite dizzying. Nearly every day, something new comes out. China released DeepSeek last month, and within a space of a few weeks, another superior technology was released called Menus. Nearly every day, something happens. So my mind always goes to students in school now and what they are studying, and as to what they are studying, whether to be relevant for the future of work. But before I start my lecture, I would like us to watch this short video.
AI is learning how to drive cars, how to fly planes, how to diagnose diseases. And this is just going on and on, sector after sector. AI is beginning to achieve superhuman performance. What does it mean for Africa? AI will touch every industry, from finance to farming. We are on the start of the fourth industrial revolution. The starting gun has been fired, and I'll be very, very honest with you. Right now, Africa has not even lined up on the start line. We are sitting in the Lagos Yacht Club, drinking crude oil from champagne glasses, patting ourselves on the back at how clever we are. Meanwhile, South Korea has committed nearly $1 billion to its AI industry. China has said it is going to create an AI industry of $150 billion over the next 20 years. Where is the Pan-African billion-dollar investment in AI? Where are the thousands of young people who are training to be machine learning specialists, data scientists, AI specialists? The jobs that we love, those jobs will be swept away over the next 20 to 30 years because AI can do it faster, cheaper, better than you can. All those jobs will be lost in time like tears in rain.
Multimillionaire now, and he runs a school in Tema, the African Science Academy. Every year they choose about 40, 50 girls from across the continent, and they force feed them the A-level syllabus. These girls, after 9 months, end up in schools like Columbia, Harvard, Yale, and so on. That's his work and that's his focus. And he definitely knows what he's talking about. Okay, so let me start off with a tale of two futures. So imagine you wake up one morning and your job has been replaced by an algorithm. If you were a lawyer here, the New York bar was passed by a bot in less than 4 hours. The US Medical Board exam was also passed by another bot within a number. Something that takes 4 years to prepare for, a simple bot passed that exam. So, a tale of two futures. A future where young people, as passive consumers of technology, jobs vanish, global challenges mount. That's future A. Or a future B, where youth, as innovators, problem solvers, and empathetic leaders in a dynamic, interconnected world. As I said, you wake up one morning and your job has been taken over by an algorithm. What would you do? The decisions we take will shape whether we have a future A or future B. And Education 4.0, which I'm proposing today, can be the catalyst for transformation. We're facing two tensions now. There's a tension between automation versus innovation. So there's widespread automation disrupting industries and creating new ones. New technologies are transforming day-to-day life and creating new lines of businesses. New types of firms and new types of workers require new skills. Platforms are enabling firms to enter markets without physically being present. They exercise outsized influence and grow without vertically integrating. AI and new production methods. There's less demand for low-skilled labor. High demand for advanced cognitive skills, social behavioral skills, and skill combinations associated with greater adaptability. This is an uncertain global world, and how countries must build human capital to remain relevant worker 4.0 beyond by 2030 and beyond. The future that we keep talking about and envisaging is already here. Now, this is what is defined as the fourth industrial revolution. It's a space occupied by autonomous robotics and drones, simulation and modeling, distributed systems integration, Internet of Things, information security, cloud and mobility, artificial intelligence and machine learning, virtual reality, mixed and augmented reality, big data and analytics. So if this is the fourth industrial revolution, how are we preparing our students for that future of work? The tension I spoke about between automation versus innovation. So whereas automation is displacing jobs, getting rid of jobs, changing the structure of jobs, innovation is replacing jobs, but different types of jobs, which requires different types of skills. Now the question is whether your current curriculum is preparing your students to be relevant in that new future, to take advantage of the opportunities that innovation presents. Now this is an AI-fueled world. Around agriculture, energy, education, government, finance, health, industrial, media, retail, smart home, telecom, and transport. AI is now considered the new electricity. Since COVID, technology continues to rapidly reshape the workplace. Today, as we speak, according to Gartner, 85% of customer interactions can be managed without a human. 50% of workers could be replaced today with current automation, according to McKinsey. If you go around the US, Germany, the UK, and Japan, a range of between 20 to 40% of jobs are going to be automated by 2030. Now, the challenge of our time. The World Economic Forum predicts 85 million jobs will be lost to automation by 2025. Oh, this year. 97 million new jobs or new roles are emerging. Come to Ghana, we have a literacy stroke numeracy rate around 85%. 65% of children entering primary school will work in jobs that don't yet exist. Now, this is an extremely important slide. If you look at the decreasing job demands, if you are preparing for this decreasing job demand, you may want to have a think again. So, data entry clerks, admin and executive secretaries, accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll clerks, accountants and auditors, assembly and factory workers, business services and administration managers, client information and customer service workers, general and operations managers, mechanics and machinery repairers, material recording and stockkeeping clerks. All these jobs are routine jobs that an algorithm can replace, and increasingly are being replaced. Was it Deloitte or one of the big four set aside around, it was about $40 or $50 million just to look into how AI was going to affect their accounting and auditing function. Growing job demands are around data analysts and scientists, AI and machine learning specialists, big data scientists, digital marketing and strategy specialists, process automation specialists, business development professionals, software and application developers, Internet of Things specialists. Now, these are next generation jobs. Look at the slide and tell me if you recognize any of these jobs in your current reality. So we have a weather design engineer. In Dubai, they are seeding the clouds to get rain. A 3D printed food biochemist, a human technology integration specialist, a gene programmer, a 3D printed clothing designer, a nanomedical engineer, a robot behavior designer, memory augmentation specialist. So we are currently preparing students, and this is from the States. They are currently preparing students for jobs that don't yet exist, using technologies that haven't yet been invented in order to solve problems we don't even know are problems yet. Let me take you to India. India today generates about $230 billion of foreign exchange by exporting its tech talent. 90% of that comes from outside of India, and every tech worker spends money in restaurants, they have an Uber driver, they spend money in shops, they bring wealth, and they drive the middle class in the country. Africa, by extension Ghana, therefore, has a fantastic opportunity to become the next India by building a large pool of technology, talent, and attracting foreign exchange into the continent and building a middle class that will actually fuel the economy. So how do we make Ghana, Africa, the next India or next China with the talent to power our economies? How do we solve our big challenges around healthcare, climate change, agriculture, infrastructure, education? Now, Africa happens to be the youngest population. The average age in Japan is 48, Germany 47 years. The average age in Africa is 19. The rate of growth in Africa's young and growing population means that our workforce will be larger than China and India by 2035. Only how many years from now? 10 years from now. And by the end of the century, Africa will be home to 40% of the world's population. No continent comes close to solving the global shortage of technology talent than Africa. The exciting statistics will mean nothing if we are unable to convert Africa's population into talent. A workforce of 1 billion by 2035 doesn't mean a talent pool of 1 billion. Population doesn't necessarily equate talent. It must be transformed through education and skills development into talent. And we need to launch a serious guerrilla movement to extract our talent, polish them, and offer them to the world. In Africa, there are pockets of excellence around what I'm talking about. First, Swanika and his team will train 50,000 software engineers this year, and they plan to train 5 to 10 million youth across Africa in demand skills like software engineering, data science, cloud computing, cybersecurity, Salesforce, AR versus VR in the next decade. They are also infusing what they call the African Leadership Group's secret sauce. And this includes critical thinking, ethics and values, collaboration, communication, leadership, project management, etc., into the tech talent they are developing at scale so they can outcompete tech talent from other regions who may lack some of these soft skills. So it's not just hard skills, but soft skills with hard impact. There are examples around We Think Code in South Africa, Moringa School in Kenya, Decagon in Nigeria, and so on. So we have to think unconventionally and reimagine education across Ghana. Ghana data. I came across this from the Ghana Statistical Service. A percentage of households that own a functional IC device in various regions versus households that did not own a functional ICT device. Savannah, 16.9 versus 41.7. Upper West, 11.2 to 40.6%. Northeast, 14.4% of households have access to a device, 36.9% don't. And it goes on and on and on. Now, according to data from GES, there are currently around 7 million students in public school system and 2 million students in private school system. Public schools number about 20,000, give or take. Private schools around 11,000. And the whole education vertical in Ghana is around 11 million, which is about a third of the population. So at some point or the other, a third of our population will be involved in some sort of education. People keep talking about hiring the right people, or people are the most important asset. Your people are your most important asset. You've heard that, right? But we go a step further and ask whether it's the right people that are your most important access or anybody. We also had an issue with the global pandemic. It exacerbated already existing barriers in accessing quality education and estimated to widen education inequalities. Classrooms and communities are no longer limited to specific locations, offering invaluable opportunities to reinvent approaches, advance collaboration with educators and learners to improve learning experiences all the way to get to the last mile. Okay, so how do I go back? I can't figure this one out. There's no AI. So I came across a young lady in Virginia, my niece, who at 2 years was handling a device. And the device had been curated to a 2-year-old. The covering around the device, the content and everything had been made bespoke to the 2-year-old. And my mind went to my cousins in Fabrodebe to Michok. At 2 years, they are running around butt naked on some cocoa farm. Yes, so that's me, Tessa. Somewhere in North America, at the age of 2, Tessa has been engaging with technology. Yes, there are all sorts of debates and research and so on about exposing kids to technology at an early age. Where this young lady is starting from versus my other cousin at Fabrodebe Tumichok. These are 2 kids that are starting out in life at the same age, but with different opportunities. And they are expected to compete in a global world at the same level. How is that possible? So we had an experiment in Nkoranza, a farm on Nkoranza. Mr. James Watson, he was National Best Farmer, I think 2018 or so. But he has this large farm, employs about maybe 50, 60 families, migrant workers, who also come with their family. These are kids. When we started talking, they had about 6 enrolled in a small school. By the time we engaged and we deployed technology, the number had grown to 100. These are kids who had never touched devices before, and within 3 to 6 months, they were assembling robots and coding. So when Senior talked about if he hadn't left his village, he would probably have been chasing rats. There are 3 words that define the work that we do, and it's around access, equity, and inclusion. He had an opportunity to gain access to St. Peter's. He had peers that he learned with, and that spurred him on to his medical career. When I was in St. Peter's, when you wake up at 4 o'clock and you realize nobody's in their bed, you think the rapture had happened. Because why? We were bred and taught to just learn. So access, equity, and inclusion, extremely important in this environment that we're talking about, Education 4.0. Now the top 10 skills, I keep going. The top 10 skills, according to the World Economic Forum, that students must acquire to prepare them for the 4th Industrial Revolution are as follows: analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies, complex problem solving, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality and initiative, leadership and social influence, tech use, monitoring and control, tech design and programming, resilience, stress tolerance and flexibility, reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. So why the urgency? The pace at which technology is moving is at breakneck speed, and it is quite overwhelming. If you can see these slides, I'm not sure where you were in the year 2000. It just looks at the various industrial revolutions and what happened. But if you cast your mind back, those that are old enough, in the year 2000, when mobile telephony was introduced in this country, when you were looking for a single chip, you had to queue around the block to get, and it was being flogged at ridiculous prices. Now they throw it at you, which means that with technology or with mobile telephone, how we've been able to leapfrog, we can do the same thing with these new technologies that are coming if we're given the access, and we can compete globally. The Education 4.0 framework is around 8 key dynamics. First, global citizenship skills, building awareness about the wider world, sustainability, and playing an active role in the global community. Innovation and creativity skills, including complex problem solving, analytical thinking, creativity, and systems analysis. I've talked about tech skills, but most importantly also interpersonal skills. How do you work with people from different backgrounds, irrespective of creed, race, and in some cases, orientation? Personalized and self-paced learning. According to Coursera, about 60-70% of people that start online courses never complete it. Accessible and inclusive learning, problem-based and collaborative learning, lifelong and student-driven learning. So that's the paradigm in which the student needs to operate. Now, what do we mean by global citizenship skills? They say when America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. The last government, we were always laughing at them, saying that they were always referring to the pandemic and Ukraine war as an excuse for non-performance. There were all sorts of things that we talk about, but it is, if we haven't felt it yet, it is actually a global environment. Environment, sustainability, and governance. If you have a cocoa farm in a Galamsey area, know that you are threatened. If the rains don't fall when they are supposed to fall, we used to have 2 or 3 clear distinctions between our climates. So we had a rainy season, we had a dry season, we had a, what do you call it, Hamatan and so on. Now, I don't remember the last time I witnessed or experienced Hamatan. So, what is happening with the environment and what is the impact on our businesses and the work we do? Interpersonal skills, extremely important as well. Now let me come to the teacher. I've talked a bit about the student and what the student needs to do to prepare. But you can't do this without a teacher. Now, we need to ask ourselves serious questions as to the kinds of teachers that we are grooming now and whether they are fit for purpose for an Education 4.0 paradigm. How will the role of teachers change? What values will the next generation of teachers bring? What skills and attitudes will they need? How can teacher well-being and satisfaction be better supported? And how can teachers best equip students to thrive in a wider world? Teachers need to move from the space of just dispensing knowledge, because anybody with a device, if they key into a ChatGPT, a Grok, a Claude, Perplexity or anything, they have access to the same knowledge that the teacher has. The teacher needs to move from dispensing knowledge to wisdom and insight and supporting the students as coaches, not lecturers. Continuous upscaling and hosting virtual, the teacherpreneur, if you want to look at how a teacher earns extra income. Hosting virtual classes and earning extra income. Publishing your work on online platforms and virtual libraries. We can have a whole session on teachers and how we can make St. Peter's teachers the pride of the rich in terms of their ability to deploy all sorts of technology skills around. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to align students with educators and decision makers. So students, we want to shift you from just consuming information, what we used to call Oshibaba, to be creative problem solvers. You become self-directed, lifelong learners. Educators, shifting you from sages on stage to a teacher as a learning facilitator as we integrate technology to enable higher cognitive skills. Decision makers, and in this I include school owners, ministries, education, service, alumni, head teachers, and so on. How do you adopt a vision and define strategy to meet Industry 4.0 requirements? Which means, is the curriculum that you are deploying Education 4.0 compliant? How do you direct and manage change within their education system? In the public sector, the government has been doing some work around this. They're building STEM schools and also the National Digital Literacy Project, which deployed 45,000 devices to 700 schools and 3,400 teachers over a number of years. What is the project covering? Distribution of broadband-enabled digital for all learners and teachers, a train-the-trainer module to develop the capacity of teachers and relevant implementers, development and provisions of appropriate content for digital learning, and simulation workshops for students. this is how a smart lab looks like in another jurisdiction. This is a Brazilian example. We've done some work in Ghana that we can show as well. But essentially, the teacher gets a laptop with a learning management system and a classroom management system. Allows the teacher to control the environment. They can even set exams, mark it on the spot, distribute results to the students, and even forward to your parents. So those days that you were hiring report cards from your parents are long gone. Tablets or laptops, a projector or a Promethean board, a control access point. That's like our magic box, because what it does is that you can put all sorts of content on there, terabytes of storage. It can create a local area network, and anybody within the jurisdiction environment within maybe 40, 50 devices can latch on and download content. Then there's the coding, robotic, and Intel kits. In Singapore, there's a big push for maker education, learning beyond STEM. Students design assistive tech for disabled communities. There's emphasis on empathy, resilience, and teamwork. There's a model for blending tech skills with real-world impact. For communities, there's what we call urban seeds, and these are spaces where adults who may have fallen off the bandwagon can go and acquire some digital skills, cybersecurity, AI, IoT, and so on. That's from the morning till about 2, 3. When the students finish from school, they can come in there and do all those robotics and AI courses. In the evening, it converts back to an adult education center, which means that students who don't make the transition from senior high school to university, unemployed graduates, and adults requiring complementary education can all use that facility to be able to acquire important emerging skills. When I talked about access, equity, and inclusion, these ladies from Manfe Methodist, I think Prempe also won a World Robotics competition. I'm looking forward to a St. Peter's team that will go and win an AI competition soon. Now, these ladies had access to a dedicated teacher, had access to resources, and they went and won the World Robotics competition, not once, but twice. MTN proceeded to build a $250,000 facility on their premises to push STEM education. So once you have a seed, it's very easy to leverage it to get a lot more investment in projects like this. Our core takeaways: education in an AI-driven world. We must look at education in terms of value creation as a core mission. Entrepreneurship must be seen as a survival skill. I'm not sure the percentage that is on the government's payroll, I know 40, 50%, I don't know, of GDP goes towards those public sector wages, which means government cannot employ everybody. There's a limit to how many people private sector can also employ. So it's important to also instill in our students the survival skill of entrepreneurship. We also need to redefine education's purpose. AI must be seen as a collaborator, not as a competitor. There must be a paradigm shift in teaching. Curriculum overhaul. Our curriculum must be overhauled. A stakeholder call to action. This means to the alumni, Perscoba, and various relationships. And we must present a bold vision for education, which means if you go through St. Peter's, when you come out, what sort of student are you, and how are you prepared to face the future that you've been thrust into? The role of our partners and private sector. So for CSR, any corporate that has a social CSR budget, we need to be approaching. We need to be looking for our high net worth individuals with a passion for education to support this new paradigm. Service organizations, Rotary, Lions, and Zonta, also could support some of these projects. Alumni, churches, mosques, synagogues, I throw in shrines. If they got funding to impact education, why not? And diaspora entities, Nkwetia Association of New York or Denmark, should be able to invest in some of these projects. How do we build this future together? Policymakers must invest in training and digital infrastructure. Educators must embrace project-based learning and emotional intelligence. Perscoba, we started funding a legacy project, but what I've seen around these projects, not just in Ghana, but across the different countries that we work in, everybody's excited about a nice, bright, shiny toy. You go back a year later, and you meet the carcasses of the devices. Either they've been stolen. I mean, people were putting tablets in their shirts to exit labs and so on in some other countries that we've worked in. So alumni, how do we fund a sustainable model that consistently supports the promotion of digital skills, AI, IoT in St. Peter's? That's my question for the day. Parents, foster curiosity and resilience at home. And that's my call to action. It's important that as alumni, we work together with the various stakeholders to create an environment where our students are empowered with the right skills that builds them and sets them up for the future of work. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Senior Balai. I hope I'm permitted to call him that. Thank you so much. This is very interesting. We're going to have an open forum about the lecture that has just been given. And we are going to take questions, comments, contributions, and we want to hear from all of us. So if you have any contribution to make, you kindly show by hand. The microphone will come to you, or they should come to the front, so that for the purposes of our online people, you may be asked to come to the front so that we will hear what you have to say. So if there is anybody, while we wait, I will say one or two things about this subject matter. It's something I have been very much interested in. So just a moment. So he made mention about overhauling the educational system, and I think that is really important. Government is doing a lot in providing infrastructure, but I think across the value chain of education, we really have to look at it so that everything we do fits into the other. So I have a concern with what is the emergence of artificial intelligence, especially with respect to generative AI. He made mention of ChatGPT, he mentioned DeepSeek and others, where universities are sort of now trying to catch students who use those tools in their work. And I feel that instead of reforming the educational system to teach students to be able to use it to enhance what we do, we should rather, we shouldn't be, how do we call it? We shouldn't be preventing them from using it, but we should rather, the university should really be hurry up, or the various educational institutions should be quick enough to make sure that it's integrated and we learn how to use it, because it's our new reality. The second thing is about the way we conduct examinations. I wish we can do something about it, the pen and paper culture of examination. Because in the real work environment, most of the time we hardly use pens. We hardly write with pens. and I wish that we could do something about it. Recently, I had to take an exam, and sitting down for 3 hours to write 4 essays with pen was really difficult, even more difficult than the task of preparing for the exam. So I hope that as we have these conversations, some of these things will come up. I know that some of us are influential people and we sit in policy making areas and we'll do that. So a senior wanted to say something. Because we are streaming for an online audience, I think it would be good if you all come to the front. So if anybody has something, please let's know. Please, senior, please come and then you make your point. And then senior Richard, some of the things, comments that are coming, you may take note so that if you need to respond, I'll also be assisting you here.
My name is Odro Saka. I think I'm not alone if I say that most of the things behind me, above my head, I couldn't understand all of them. But I believe I'm not alone. However, our children and our grandchildren that we have at home, my question is, how can we help them? Let's say I have children at home. I want them to take advantage of what you've said. What is your advice? How do I guide them? Any facilities, any opportunities available?
Okay, so depending on the schools they are in, a number of private schools are providing coding, robotics, at least a basic Scratch and what's the other language? Python as extracurricular activities. If not, there are some robotic clubs across, I know Accra. There's a maker space in Abilinkwe. And Golden Age School, I think, have an extracurricular activity there. In fact, a lot of the international, but if you want a private, focused, you need to contact the maker's place. They should be able to help you. I know for Accra, not Kumasi or Nkwetia. In fact, I mean, when I was talking about St. Peter's, it could actually be a hub for the whole reach. Training master coaches who then go on to train the kids. So in Kwasco, APSEC, I mean, all the schools on the ridge. You could have a hub here with Mukoko. Which one is Mukoko? Modern College of Commerce, yes. And there was in Jakuku too in Kufredia. So yes, I off the top of my head, I can do a bit more research to support you depending on where you are based. But this is actually a business opportunity for those that are entrepreneurially minded, setting up robotics and coding classes across, because whether we like it or not, that future that we're thinking of is here. Thank you.
Senior, I think we set up the AI lab at St. Peter's. What is the state of it?
Okay.
Please.
So I was talking about sustainability of our projects. When we set it up, it's nice, and the challenge we had in the beginning was getting teachers on site to take over the project. At some point, we were funding people to come all the way from Kufredia to train students in St. Peter's. It was just not sustainable. So it's something that we've got to revisit and see how we put in. Ideally, you should find teachers locally to own the project. But, I mean, typically of a lot of our schools, in my experience, if the job description of the teacher covers A, B, C, D, if there is no additional incentive to incentivize them to do National Science and Maths quiz or cyber, what did they win the other time? Cyber security, whatever, or sharks. So that is our reality. If we want projects to be sustainable in our school, then we need to create a fund that supports the trainers in school. Otherwise, we would have to ship people in to do that, and it's just not sustainable. So it's something that we've got to revisit and figure out how we drive it forward. In fact, originally we were planning to take them to the Intel AI Global Festival, but it didn't happen. We can revisit that as well.
With all those amount of money we paid into it. So I believe before we leave here, we must make a commitment to getting it work, and at least whatever cost he has to be. Otherwise, that's why we're struggling to raise money to do other projects, because that was one of the biggest projects, maybe the first of its kind in the country. And you leading that, I think is, senior, with all due respect, it's your responsibility, because when your school is done and is done well,
absolutely,
I think you can go about telling people what you've done at St. Peter's. And so I'm not criticizing you, but please, let's get it to work, please.
I get it. We'll work on it. It was supposed to be a legacy project funded by the alumni, Perscoba. Okay, so that even at phase 1, we were experiencing those challenges. So we've got to find a way to bring it back to life.
Thank you very much. It's been very, very educative. And for those of us who have passed our prime, you know, I get confused most of the time along the way. But my concern is this, that, you know, it's a bit depressing. You know, hearing you mention examples from Singapore and other continents. We hardly heard of any example from Africa. So it's a bit depressing.
Okay.
And looking at our situation where, you know, I think you mentioned those in the former public education,
yeah,
I mean, supersede those in the private sector.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? Are you lobbying, for instance, African Union or governments to, as it were, also try and make an impact? Else, maybe in 10, 20 years' time, our situation will even be worse.
Yeah.
So I just want to find out what, you know, lobbying you've been doing, even within Ghana, irrespective of the political party in power. What can be done?
Okay.
You know, so, and I think the suggestion was this, that we shouldn't have isolated STEM schools. All the schools should be turned into STEM schools. Yeah. So that's the concern.
Yeah. So in terms of lobbying and working with government, we worked with government to deploy the 700 schools. So if you go into any district now, you'll find one primary school and one junior high school that has a smart lab that we set up. Okay. So that is the extent of our engagement. We started that project in 2019. We signed a contract in 2020. At the time, the dollar was 5.35. As I stand here in Nkwetia, what is the dollar now? We still haven't been paid. So you lose. So imagine the value you've lost over the number of years working with government. Government is fantastic, but we've just had to redefine our model and say we'll work with private sector, and when we get something from government, we treat it as bonus. We cannot build our business model around government. But yes, we'll continue to lobby, because the reason why you need a lab in the school, when you start talking about a full smart school or a STEM school, it becomes expensive. If the government is saying that they are going to, one smart lab, a class lab, a 50-seater easily could be anything between $25,000 to $30,000. Now multiply that smart lab by the number of classrooms that you have in the school, multiply it by 20,000 public schools. It's not something that, so you put in a smart lab so that, just like we used to go to our physics and chem and bio, what do you call it? Then you timetable it so that every week, at least, somebody has an immersion experience or exercise in that school. And hopefully by the end of the term, they would have had, I don't know, maybe 12 sessions or 15 sessions, depending on whatever track they are on. What is it, gold or silver or diamond track? Yeah, so government is extremely important. They've got a muscle to carry out these big projects. However, you know politics and how it was, but we can also put in our efforts and support to see what, because 20,000 schools, even times $30,000 a lab per school is quite expensive. So then how do you bring in, I listed CSR budgets of companies, donor entities, World Bank, IFC, the UNICEFs, and so on. MasterCard Foundation is doing a lot of work in that area, and so on. I mean, Rotary, every year, they've got to do one service project every year. If you manage to convince them to do a smart lab in a public school, Rotary and Lions, Zonta is purely focused on women schools and girls schools and the female agenda. So it can be done, but it's long, it's tedious, and it's a hard, long road. But it can be done. The other influential partner we've worked with is the Otumfuo Foundation. So if you go to Rioso now, there's a lab that the Otumfuo Foundation, in partnership with Newmont, deployed over there. Rioso and Kona in the Ashanti region. Now they are looking at Sankore and Tuase. So it's slow, but it's informed by funding. If we get funding, we can deploy. Yeah. Next.
Good morning, sir. Sir, please, my name is Kisiodro Chris, the SRC Financial Secretary. Please.
SRC
Financial Secretary.
Are you going to give us money to build a lab?
Please, you spoke about seeing AI as a collaborator and not as a competitor. But how do we think as youth if our occupations, our future occupations can easily be taken over by AI? Example, as for me, I want to do marine biotechnology, but if it can easily be taken over by AI, what can I do to see AI as a collaborator and not a competitor? Thank you.
Okay, so ultimately, you would have to broaden your scope in terms of not just that particular job, but then how can you use AI to influence and support your work so that you're not completely irrelevant. So your competition is not with the AI. Your competition is with somebody who can use the AI better than you. That is your competition. So you've got to start looking at, if you can't code, okay, the government announced the 1 million coder program. Just last few days, I saw something about now you can use voice to code. So you train 1 million coders. What next? So for you, you've got to look at the different technologies that you can use to support your work as a marine bio. St. Peter's boys always come up with some big jobs that we haven't heard before. Whatever marine that you are looking at. Yeah, so we can recommend some additional areas that you can look at so you don't become irrelevant. Because if they can send an automated, device down the sea to probe, collect data, feed it into a data center, and AI churns the data and so on, what then happens to you? But if you can understand how you exploit it, manage it, and use it, you are in a better position, and you can even be used to assist the development of the particular AI in that space. So you can look at prompt engineering. You can look at, if you're not coding, look at Python. What else? Echo, why did you think I brought you here? Come on, give me.
Okay, I'll try not to make this very long. One of the things that is in our favor as Africa is the fact that if you look at the penetration of smartphone devices, it's at 98% of the population from 18, from 16 to 64. A majority of us sitting in this room fall within that bracket. Invariably, we have the devices. He spoke about the reduction in price of SIM cards, right? And everybody, we are constantly engaging the ministry and government asking for reduction in data prices. So if you have the phone, you have the data, you have the internet at your disposal, then the onus is on you to be able to upgrade yourself, to be able to learn. The knowledge is out there. And the reason why I would say that the knowledge is out there is because there are 1,001 tech-related courses that you can take. It used to be that we said the maybe tech was science-related. Guess what? There's now what they call natural language processing. Rather than us having to learn the computer language so that we can code the computer, the AI community is now building platforms that enable us to use your natural thoughts, natural language, to be able to speak to the computer to get it to do what it is that we want. The technology is there, the knowledge is there. It's a little sad when we say those of us that are beyond our prime. Sorry, apologies to you. But if you have the information at your disposal, then really the onus is on you. Somebody has said, the gentleman who, sorry, what's his name? The guy was there. Sorry. What's his name? Terry, yeah. Terry Mante. Terry Mante had indicated that we are stopping children within the schools from utilizing devices, and maybe we should have a rethink and be able to enable them. I think the key thing is control. Yes, letting them spend, unlimited time on the tablets, on the devices, may not be what is recommended. But maybe the point will be to control, give them a certain amount of control, and give them freedom to be able to explore the devices and learn. The landscape has changed. I think when Richard was showing the slides, he indicated that the skills that are required for the future, he gave a certain list. Further down the line, he showed the jobs that are available or are going to be in demand. Even by the time he showed the difference between what jobs are there right now and what the jobs are going to be in future, and he went on to the next slide to go and show what are the in things, you would have found that some of the jobs that said were going to be in demand have already been made obsolete by AI. The landscape is changing. So, guys, honestly, whenever somebody asks and it looks like they want us to give a one-shot solution, I think there's a bit of an issue. Government will do some things. We as alumni will do some other things. Schools will do their part. The onus is on us as individuals, once we have the technology, once we have the access, to be able to progress ourselves, be able to find, knowing all that he has said, to define the path to be able to improve ourselves, to be able to enhance ourselves. For those of us in advanced careers, to be able to learn all the time. When he was listing the critical skills, he mentioned critical thinking, he mentioned lifelong learning, he mentioned building social capital. Those are some of the soft skills that are required of us. And then you add on familiarity with the AI tools and so on and so forth, so that we can be able to be adaptable, be able to grow, be able to leverage the maximum from whatever the opportunities that the tech and the AI is providing. I hope I've...
Thank you very much. I think as Perscoba, we need to spend a bit more time with our students and organize. You were talking about career fairs and mentoring and so on. I mean, taking these individuals and engaging them, finding out what their hopes, aspirations are, and attempt to chart a path that supports them in some of these areas. So maybe that's one of the takeaways from here. If you have that kind of background, let's set up I don't know, a 4IR, what do you call it, session or a team that one of the boys here, one of the Perscoba guys has a company that uses AI to support students work through exam. Pasco, yeah, there's a tool that he has that supports that. I think it would be good to bring him on board as well. And there are lots of software engineers and digital transformation specialists in our network that we can pull in to start having an impact on the students right from Form 1 when they come till they graduate. Thank you. I think moderator says there's one last question. Senior Sudo Yams. The way that he like yams.
Good morning. My name is Nanaya Osapong. Oh, no, that one they are not. Yes, critically, I once paid a visit to Ashesi University, and I was very impressed with the systems that they have there. It is an environment that is far advanced than most of our universities. I would say, in terms of the environment, the learning environment, most of the things that you've spoken about, the focus on AI-driven technology, which they use in teaching. I don't know if there's a possibility for St. Peter's to have some kind of collaboration with them for our students to probably at some point visit there to see, so that it becomes part of their mindset approach. And then the second word of advice that I want to give our students is that I'm sure a lot of you have a smartphone. During your holidays and when you are not in school, you have to start getting yourselves, familiarizing yourselves with this, what you've heard here today, AI, artificial intelligence, chatbot, and all these things that are coming up. I mean, at my age, this year I'm going to be 56, but I've done 3 courses on Unathena, Uniathena, Coursave, and Udemy. I've done 3 courses separately on these.
Yeah.
Yes. So you have to be learning all the time. You know, you can be a management consultant, you can be a medical professional, you can even be a paramount chief like Nana. But Nana, I'm sure, is doing a lot of courses in the palace. So if you sit here and you don't do something extra, you know, you're going to be left behind. Thank you.
Senior Sudo, since you suggested this Ashesi thing, I'm going to nominate you to lead that effort, design it, structure it. And since Senior Kojo is giving me thumbs up, he can deputize and support you so that you set up an annual pilgrimage from Persco to Ashesi. Yeah, an annual pilgrimage from, or we can flip it and say they go one time and then Ashesi students can also come in and support. If you've even got Persco boys already in Ashesi, then that becomes your core support to leverage to support your students here. But why not? I mean, there are tech courses in both Legon and Kumasi Legon. Yeah, I know. You know, I usually set this thing for them to spike. Yeah, the KNUST guys. I mean, there are lots of tech professionals in our network. So let's pull them together, design a program of action that purely supports. I heard yesterday that there are 1,880 students, Form 2, Form 3 Pell. When we were here, we were 700. You were 550. Okay, when we joined, we were 700. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. They should ask more questions. Okay, all right.
Thank you very much. In fact, I'm so happy to be part of this lecture this morning. And I'm so happy about the topic you spoke on. Just to draw your attention to a few things. You spoke about the curriculum. And I am happy to tell you that the new curriculum we have in place now doesn't limit students. And then those of you who attended O-level, we are almost back to that system again, where students can take about 12 subjects and then exit with 7 or 9. We also have science students studying Ghanaian language. We have business. We are now using 21st century skills in teaching. I'm very sorry to tell you that we need to use laptops, projectors in almost every classroom. Because now we have moved from teacher-centered teaching to student-centered teaching. And students are always supposed to be in groups and work and project. But the sad aspect is our classrooms, the logistics to use is our biggest challenge. So for now, what we are doing is that we set up one classroom where we have projector over there. So if you think you want to use it to help the student, you move there, and then that place you have the facility to use. In fact, when I was transferred to St. Peter's, I went on the net to search or read about the school. The first thing I saw and I was happy was about the AI. I'm very sorry to say that when I came and entered there, nothing was there. It's an empty room. It's an empty room. But if you go to the net and you read about it, and then the message there is St. Peter is the first school to set an AI school. So I'm very happy that you mentioned this thing this morning. I just want to plead with Perscoba that let's make it a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I'm William Amowo, Assistant Headmaster in charge of academics.
Okay, nice meeting you. So one of the points I made earlier is that sometimes we do a project and we leave it behind. And so we need to do an audit to find out where those devices went to or disappeared to.
Yeah, so let me come in here. This smart lab issue has been a back and forth issue, even within the old boys community. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of mistrust, a lot of lying. Unfortunately, I have to say that going on within the old boys community, and also there's a portion to do with the school as well, because it is in the school. So it's hydra-headed. So many issues around the AI lab issue. And we have been silent on it for so many reasons. I don't want to go into those reasons now. But it was for a reason that we raised this theme for this purpose, so that all of us, our attention is drawn back to that. And then from now onwards, we'll see how we get back to that project and get it working for the good of the school. There's so many issues around it, and I don't want to go into that here. I don't think it's fair for me to go into that here. But the whole essence of the theme for today was for all of us as old boys to rethink our position on the legacy project of the AI lab. And I hope that when the global executives come out with their plan for it, we'll all embrace it and not complain and talk a lot behind the scenes, which is happening at the moment. I don't think it's helpful. But after this, we'll look at it again and then come out again with the way forward, as we say in Ghana. The way forward with it. But we'll progress. Our 70th, I said our 70th is coming. We can progress it to that stage and get it working again. So thank you on that.
So one of the biggest issues we have with projects is also ownership. Okay, so who takes ownership when the project is handed over? That's why we will dig a borehole and later on we'll come around and we hear that the borehole is not functioning or some roof is leaking or it's the same thing. So we've got to go back and have a look at what exactly the issues are with it and try and plug all those gaps. But most importantly, how do you make it sustainable? Because these are kids. They will drop the devices, they will smash them, they will break them, and so on. How do you sustain a project like that over a long period? Yeah? We done? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. We have all done well in making this very interactive, and we've taken some decisions, and I believe that we're going to work on it. Because yesterday, some of the students, I was asking them about it, and they said they've never been there. So I found my answer. I said I was going to ask my seniors, and we found an answer. When I was in St. Peter's, during the time I was in St. Peter's, my home was in the eastern region of Ghana, the regional capital, a city called Koforidia, Kof Town. So I used to come from Koforidia to come to school. Every time we had to come to school. And it's a privilege that on a day when I happened to be the MC, the Omahne of New Job and Traditional Area, whom I didn't know was a Perscoba until I saw the flyer, it's also with us. So, and I think beyond here, there are things I would wish. I'm using this to get my point. That's the benefit of being an old boy, to see some of the things we can do in Koforidia. I don't come from Koforidia, but I have this whole idea of hometown. I think Koforidia has to be my hometown because I know Koforidia better than my own hometown. So sometimes when I am asked, where is your hometown? I ask the person, is it the one my parents said is my hometown, or the place which is actually my hometown? Because I went to school there, and then I used to live there to come to school in St. Peter's. So I left there when I was too young, because I know there are so many flowers in Koforidia, but I was still very young at the time. I left there before I went to the university. So if I had lived there longer, I would have found it. But so I was coming to say something else, but Mr. President reminded me that my wife is here, so I can't say. I can't say. So on this note, we would want to hear a message from the guest of honor, Dasebre Kwekubuatin III, Omahne of New Job and Traditional Area.
I will say good morning, fellow Perscoba. Distinguished chairperson, the president and executive of Perscoba, esteemed guests, fellow old students, staff and students of St. Peter's Senior High School, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to stand before you today as we gather to celebrate the legacy of our alma mater. St. Peter's Senior High School and to reflect on the critical role we all play in shaping the future of our youth. As an old student, I take great pride in the tradition of excellence that this institution has upheld over the years, producing individuals who continue to make meaningful contributions to society. The theme for today's lecture could not be more relevant. We live in a world of rapid technological advancements, shifting economic landscape, and evolving societal expectations. The youth of today must be equipped not just with knowledge, but with the right skills: critical thinking, problem solving, adaptability, digital literacy, and leadership to navigate the thrive in this ever-changing environment. I am particularly encouraged that Perscoba has taken the initiative to spark this crucial conversation. Beyond discussing these issues, it is our responsibility as old students, mentors, and leaders to actively support and guide the younger generation. Whether through mentorship programs, scholarships, or industry partnerships, we must create opportunities that empower the students of today to become the transformative leaders of tomorrow. As we listen to the insightful lecture ahead, I urge all of us to reflect on how we can contribute to this cause. Let us remain committed to ensuring that St. Peter's continues to be a beacon of excellence and a launchpad for the future leaders of Ghana and beyond. I thank you all, and may these discussions inspire action for the betterment of our youth and our nation. God bless Persco. God bless Ghana.
Thank you very much, Dasebre. So we're going to receive messages from our sponsors. As I indicated at the beginning, this year we have been sponsored by Assured Advisors, Imperial General Assurance, Freedom Hills, and Virtual Security Africa. I will call on the representative from Assured Advisors to bring us a very short message in a few minutes. We are asking them to come. Let's clap for them. Let's clap until they get here, so that next year they will give us more money.
I stand on all protocols being observed. Hello? Okay. I stand on all protocols being observed. I have a disclaimer. Mr. Quentin didn't inform me that I had to speak today, so I wasn't prepared. But thanks to my phone and AI, I was able to quickly put something together. And in fact, in my office, the role of a personal assistant is becoming less needed, thanks to my phone and AI. Thank you to the global executives for inviting Assure Advisors to sponsor and be part of this wonderful occasion. Assure Advisors is an insurance brokerage firm, and we are truly honored to be here today. For us, it's always a joy to participate in alumni functions. In fact, as I speak, our colleagues are with another alumni group in Cape Coast. Alumni groups provide members with opportunities to network, create support systems, and reconnect with old friends. These events offer a valuable platform for building lasting relationships. To further strengthen these alumni communities, Assure Advisors, in partnership with Enterprise Life, has designed 2 innovative products. The first is a legacy product, a global alumni welfare scheme, and the second is the alumni policy, which specifically supports individual year groups. These policies covers members, their spouses, and adult dependents. I'm happy to share that some of the Perscoba old year groups have already enrolled on these programs. The aim of these policies is to eliminate the donor fatigue often experienced when contributing to support members during funerals and illnesses. They also ensure that all members of these groups receive equal benefits when such events occur, just to mention a few of the key benefits of the legacy and alumni policies. My colleagues and I will be around this weekend to answer any questions you may have. Congratulations to the global executives for organizing such a fantastic program. We wish you all the best as you prepare for your 70th anniversary celebrations. The next time I'm at St. Peter's, I look forward to seeing all the students with their individual tablets. We need to embrace AI to stay ahead. Thank you once again for this wonderful opportunity. We look forward to seeing the year groups and the global group sign up to these policies. Thank you.
I think the way, I was coming to preempt, I have preempted. The way Senior Richard is looking at you, I know he's saying that you are committing to buy at least 500 tablets for, let's make it 200, because the Imperial General will also contribute. So we received the representative of Imperial General Assurance. They are not here. They are not here. Okay, Virtual Security Africa. Okay. I don't think they also want to speak. They will show a video.
Discover the right cybersecurity solutions to strengthen your defenses and secure your business with Virtual InfoSec Africa. Right here at Virtual InfoSec Africa, we provide you with the topmost designers, developers, and providers of information security services such as information security risk assessment, vulnerability assessment, social engineering services, digital forensic and network security, security operations services, SOC with managed services. VIA partners with the world's best original equipment manufacturer in providing affordable and world-class cybersecurity solutions with the best return on investment year on year. We are a shoulder you can count on. We are located at number 14 Osei-Anim Street, GP postcode GA1560668. Call us on 0500-450092 or visit our website at www.virtualinfosecafrica.com. Virtual InfoSec Africa, security solutions by design. Virtual Security Africa is your #1 provider of a complete integrated electronic security solutions and services in Ghana and Africa. Trust me, from CCTV surveillance, access control systems, intruder and panic alarms, fire alarm systems, physical security and inspection systems such as X-ray scanners, vehicle boom barriers, road blockers, etc. And they even have public address and intercom systems and many other facilities for your homes, offices, and even large enterprises. VSA offers a lifetime after-sales support. Call VSA today on 0558-740-764. We are located at number 14 Osei-Anim Street, GP postcode GA1560668, or visit their website at www.virtualsecurityafrica.com. Virtual Security Africa, complete security solutions.
And then Freedom Hills, we are at Freedom Hills, and the facility speaks for itself, so we don't have to cover and speak. So let's applaud Freedom Hills as well. And then I would also want to notify all of us that sponsorship of Perscoba events is open to all members of Perscoba, whether you are an individual or you have a company. You are welcome to sponsor any of our events and contribute to make it successful. We are now going to move on to the induction of new Perscoba year groups. We'll be inducting the 2012 and 2015 year groups. Before I call on Mr. President to do that, I would like to say that I entered St. Peter's in January 2000. I remember the exact date, 31st January 2000. And we came to meet a certain year group. It was in that year, 2000, that St. Peter's won the National Science and Maths Quiz for the first time. And I think we should clap for that year group. So they were our seniors. And that particular year, we beat almost every school that matters. We beat Prempeh, we beat Wesley Girls, we beat St. Francis Pim. We beat all the schools to win the final. The very day we beat Prempeh, it was just by 1 point. Just before we could go to the final, we knew that we were going to win, because once we crossed the Prempeh hurdle, we knew we were going to win. And that was a 2000 year group. This year, that 2000 year group will be marking their 25th anniversary. And they have a legacy project they are doing in the school. They want to continue in this tradition of winning awards and laurels and projecting and promoting the name of the school. So to honor their anniversary, they are doing a legacy project. They are putting up a multi-purpose training center. This training center is going to have a training hall, is going to have a dormitory that could accommodate about 15 students, and an apartment that could also accommodate the trainers. And this training center is where all our students who are participating in various competitions will be accommodated and prepared. So both the students and the trainers are going to be there, and they are going to be trained. So there is a training hall. There are all kinds of facilities there, and they are working on. I think they deserve a round of applause. So the National Science and Maths Quiz, the Shark Quiz, all the quizzes that we participate in, every time is a season for preparation. That is where the participants will be. And so they have some coupons around. They have some coupons that they are going to share around to encourage all of us to join them to make this project a reality. So when we close and during the period where we are fraternizing, some of the people who are here, one of our seniors, Senior Sugar, we used to fear him a lot. To date, I still don't know his real name. We called him Sugar. So he's right there, and some of our the other colleagues are around, and they'll be sharing some coupons for us to enable us to participate in making this project a reality. So on this note, I want to welcome Mr. President to conduct the induction of the 2012 and 2015 year groups.
Okay, so thank you. As for the 2000 year group, they've been very supportive of the association. Or every function, every activity, every event, they are a group you can always count on. They always show up and support. So Sugar and his team, God bless you for your supporters. So that's the only reason why we are allowing them to share coupons. I was telling them that it's only because of that. It was some other year groups who owe dues for 10 years, 11 years. Charlie, it's my bread though. My bread though. Now I said, the banner yes near Patchos and I asked him. Remember Titrupa Perscoba. Now dues we see dues say individual dues 240 cedis a month. A year, sorry, a year. 240. That's 20 cedis a year, 20 cedis a month. Yeah, you have more individual dues. This year, let's say 9. This year, nobody has paid. 5, yeah. They are all executives. And then Mr. Secher is one of the committed. And it divine, yes. Year group and year group is a very great support. So it's we say discuss them manual de mukasa mbese na maker. Discuss obi ambeso na maker. It's It's embarrassing sometimes. That's the word I can use. It's embarrassing sometimes that year group dues of, I think year group is now 2,500. And you call your juniors, me pay them, my friend juniors. Now I'm card on petting me. That's the kind of language they tell you. Now they show who did. Nanka wouldn't am say Peter Sa, most Peter Sa. Now Kasasa. Can't school your debut. But mesum. It's not right. Yeah, goes with the car. Free reduce boss, however. A year go better no. Okay, but me modi no, me modi. No bet you anti me modi. Max away. Wama. What's your Max? What is Kabai? Also Wama. Yeah, so please, year groups, help us. The money comes back to the association, to year groups, to funeral donations, to, at least fortunately for us last year, for a very long time, we're not able to support activities in the school. We're able to fund, we're able to support the headmaster's bungalows renovation from the monies we had from our company. We were never able to do that before. You know, yes, and I had Basoka Canada show. Headmaster, I know I'm no. Oh, friend, now, also factor, no, Weber. Mr. President, you walk as a baby. And but Uniska, Okasa Dawson. So, but at least it's only nice that we can say that there's no project in the school that Perscoba Global can hold as its own. That we have done this for the school. So for the 70th anniversary, like I said, we'll come back to the whole association with what we can do as a legacy project. The dues need it doesn't help all of us. It doesn't help all of us. And fortunately for us, we've been able to clear most of the association's outstanding debt. We've been able to clear it over the past year or past 2 years. We've cleared. I don't think we owe anybody anymore. I think there's a small gap in Kawaha. And then some of our creditors have also been gracious and written off the debts. So between us paying and their writing off, the association is now on a sound financial footing. And we want to build on that. We've commissioned auditors. So they are auditing our books for the past 2 or so years. At the next Congress, we will actually present for the first time in the Old Boards Association history, audited accounts. For those who shout, transparency, transparency. When we present the audit report, you don't pay. Because also pay transparency, audited accounts, and I went to the and I just said, so we've tried to do all of these things to help all of us. So then we're going to induct 2 year groups. The whole essence of the induction is that when you leave St. Peter's, there's a grace period of 10 years, before, after which your year group is then inducted into the Global Association, recognized as an existing year group. You pay dues, and then you enjoy the benefits of the Perscoba network. It also informs the fact that our senior citizens, I think after how many years? After 45 years leaving St. Peter's, we phase you out. So your year group still remains a year group, but you don't pay dues. We excuse you from all payments. So as the old phase out, the young come in to replace. So this year we have 2012 and 2015. And 2012 for Manchester. But anyway, we'll still get you coming. So we'll call on the 2012 and 2015 year groups. If you are here, please come forward. Let's do the induction. Mr. Secretary, Michael, please come, man. So let's welcome the latest addition to the Global Association. And let me say that they have paid their induction. They've paid their induction. There's an induction fee they've paid, and they've paid their dues up to date. So, Maxwell. Oh, Maxwell, now say metina wada nkwetia unkon kan bi mo. Nti me frewage so. Maxwell, o mani to etua do so. Maxwell, o manage to reduce. Ntemu hwe na muntu ya mo de. Oh, can they line up? So it's just in essence to pledge yourself to the Perscoba Global Association. It's not a real formality, and recognize that you've paid your dues. You are now officially a Perscoba year group, and then you are, yeah. So let's welcome them. Let me just come down and then welcome you, and then. So who's the president? What are the presidents? 2012. Where's 2015 president? Wama. And when name one, so welcome to the association. Welcome to the association. So we are now formally admitted into the Perscoba fraternity, and so as long as you pay your dues, me and you will be fine. We'll be fine. And then please get active, get involved. If there are any global association events, attend. As a group, as individuals. When you have your meetings, let us know. Either some of us will come and just join you from time to time, like we do with the other year groups, just to keep you going. Yeah. So we'll just say this after me as a group. So we that you mentioned your years, 2012, 2015, isn't it? Yeah, so you say after me, we. Standing before this honorable assembly. Do solemnly pledge our commitment to the values and vision of Perscoba Global. We vow to uphold integrity, excellence, and unity in all our endeavors. We will strive for knowledge, personal growth, and the betterment of our peers and community. We will honor the legacy of those before us and contribute to the success of those who come after us. With dedication and pride, we embrace our place in Perscoba Global and commit to carrying its name with honor and distinction. And we commit to paying dues regularly. So help us God. Okay. Well, yeah, welcome. You're formally inducted. And then we'll see you. Take care. Last. Okay, please hold on. No. Please hold on. We'll let our former global president, Snasha Batu, properly welcome you, formally welcome you.
I just heard that if you are 45 years after leaving school, you are not going to pay dues again. Is that what you said?
Your year group don't pay dues, but you, the individual, you can.
Oh, I thought the individual, so I was going to be happy today that I will not be paying this again. On behalf of the group, we want to say we appreciate you being with us. You are part of us. Let's work together and see how we can support ourselves and support our school. The ultimate is for us to do good, to be happy, and in the largest extent support the school also, so that we can be proud to look back. Yesterday when I was driving around, I said, wow, look at this building, look at that one. I was so excited, and I'm proud that I'm from St. Peter's. My two sons came to St. Peter's. My grandson will come to St. Peter's. So they should be ready to receive them. So join us and let's work together. And I think we can achieve a lot of things together. God bless you. Mr. President. Thank you. A lot depends on
Okay, thank you, sir. Oops. Okay. So Terry, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much. So, okay, hello. Hello. So pretty shortly, we are going to just two more things and then we are done. We're going to receive the closing remarks from the chairman, and then we will sing the school anthem, and then we'll welcome our secretary to give us the announcements, and then we'll depart for lunch. Before I call on the chairman to give his closing remarks, I have been informed that the year group of 7981. Hello, please, can we have one house? Thank you. So the year group of 7981 is also in the process of constructing a project. They are building an infirmary, what we used to call a sick bay for the school, which it's actually been constructed and it's at the painting level, I'm told. So very soon, I'm sure it will be inaugurated for use. So thank you very much, 7981 year group. Should it be after the chairman or before? Okay. So we also have representatives from the school, some of the members of the administration of the school, and if we would want to welcome them to give some remarks before we hear from the chairman. So I don't know whether it would be the assistant headmaster is here, so I don't know who or yes, please. So let's welcome.
Thank you and good morning. Welcome, my grandpa, Dasibre Nana Kwekubuatin III. Yes, we are grateful as a school to have you. Yesterday we met. As a school, we will wish that come next year, let's have this debate in the school as a mini something. We also belong to other schools and we have this Founders Day. Our boys, they need you. Whatever thing we discuss today is of good interest to them. Technology, they are good, but they are not using it wisely. That is the challenge. So we will wish that as our fathers, as our uncles, meet them in the school and let them have a feel of the real challenges in life. I know they told you their challenges were a bit late, and I'm sure they told you what they need. St. Peter's, as a school, for some of us from where we came from to St. Peter's, we feel we are far behind. When it comes to infrastructures, we are not in the modern times or 21st century. So we will plead and encourage our men. Yes, we are told when we were in school, the only thing was academic. But we are pleading and encouraging that with the 21st century skills, we need a lot in the school to help these young ones. They are good. When it comes to discipline, for now, among the schools in Kwewu, we top it, and they know. Apart from the few, they say if you be a mensa, but when it comes to discipline, we are very fortunate and lucky. You talk to them, they listen, except that few are stubborn. And gradually, we are also handling them. So we welcome you, and we pray that whatever discussions have gone on today, we pray that the Lord grant us the strength to implement it. Thank you, and have a fruitful day.
Just to reassure you, next year we'll be on campus. There were a few. The new assembly hall helps a lot. There were technical reasons we couldn't do a lot of it both last year and this year. We've considered it all the time, but next year we can assure you that we'll be on campus with you. We also want to be on campus, so we'll be there with you next year.
So, Mr. Chairman, your closing remarks, please.
Thank you very much. We've come to the end of this very beautiful, very nice assembly. And I thank you all for your patience and your contribution to the success of this meeting. But on the surface, I believe you all agree with me that if Richard hadn't been here this morning, we would have felt better. Because Richard frightened me with the AI and all that it entails. Richard made me believe that in the next 2-3 years, my job will be taken from me. I didn't have a job. Richard did a lot of bad things to me this morning. But in the end, he gave us assurance that the government and Ministry of Education and individual schools are building up to the AI technology. And from what we've heard today, it is most likely that St. Peter's will also come up. When it comes to excellence, like Nana said, excellence and discipline, like Nana said, we are always on top of everything. So I think it's not too late that we come on board with the AI and then achieve the excellence that has been with St. Peter's all the time. So Richard pulled us from a shell of confidence to this turbulent state. But we are sure we'll brave it, and in the end, St. Peter's will win. With respect to association and payment of dues, I think some of us, since we left the active participation in Perscoba, haven't been able to pay our dues. And I don't think I'm the only one. There may be several of us here. So right now, I think David and his group will contact everybody and give us the opportunity to contribute. If I'm too old to contribute mandatory, it is always good to volunteer to pay. So several of us are ready to contribute a bit to the association. We are also grateful to the 2000-year group for their legacy project. We are very, very grateful to them, and we pray for their success so that they will always be able to contribute when it comes to helping Persco and Perscoba. 2012-2015 year group, you are also welcome. And now you have the opportunity to make full contribution to the building up of St. Peter's. And I hear the 79, 81 group are also doing very well. We are very thankful to you. So, I'm very happy that this meeting has come to a very successful end. And Nana, we thank you for coming. Shaba, you are welcome. And Rich, thank you very much. But next time you meet, don't frighten me again. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So we're going to receive some announcements before we do the anthem, so that because the anthem really gives us a certain morale. So we have to do that last. Then after that we depart. So let's welcome Mr. Michael Oponeje, the secretary, to give us the global secretary of the Perscoba, to give us the announcements.
Thanks so much, Terry. Perscoba. Now, hello. This thing has been going on for several years. We need to fix it. At least we need to have a response to Perscoba. Yes. So, without having discussed it with my president, I think the younger ones will task some of you to collect ideas so that at least by maybe Congress date, we should have a response to Perscoba. We've had Keep On Climbing, Yerifro, Enyekasa. Yes, so that's where I'm going. So the 2012, 2015, I've given you some ideas. So put yourself together, come up with something. Like I said, the older generation have suggested Yerifro, meaning climbing. We are climbing for higher education. So there's also another version of it, which is English, Keep Climbing. And then there's dignity. There's dignity of men. So all these have been thrown about. So I will urge you that now that you are fully on board, take that as your project and let's see what comes out of that during the next Congress. Thank you all once again, all protocols observed. Thank you so much, Nana, for gracing this occasion. It's always a delight to give the younger ones the opportunity to know that we do have men of integrity and dignity who have ascended to very, very important positions in the country. And we thank you for honoring our invitation today. A few announcements, we sing the anthem and we are done. We have a presidential frame outside before you enter. If you haven't signed, please make sure you sign that before you exit. From here, we have lunch. Lunch is on the road back to the Nkwetia town. Our brother, sorry, my geography is bad, even though I was a geography student. So you see a green building on the left. Our brother Kwabina's house. We are very grateful to him for hosting us. That's where we'll be having lunch. It's just on this road once you exit. Or use AI, exactly. But we've shared the location also on the executives page. So executives here, executives share the link with your. It's just on this road, yes, towards Abitifi. Yes, once you exit, the house will be on your left. But you can also talk to the administrator. Alex, if you are lost, or you can call me or follow me. Yes, once you exit from here, left turn. It's just by the road. You won't miss it. No, going towards Abitibi. I'm talking about going towards. Okay. In the evening too, we do have Perscoba Connect. It's a networking event. More of the jams that those of us who were here in the 90s experienced. There will be scratching and all that. Don't miss it for anything. Don't miss it for the inch you had in the morning, because this one will be more fantastic. After that, the same place, Kwa's house. After that, there's an after party. Understand here they have a club here. We'll come and continue here, so those of us who are nocturnal beings can continue. Dues have been spoken about. So as you see on the screen, we have individual dues, a minimum of 240 cedis, which amounts to 20 cedis per month. That's the bronze group. You can subscribe to that. Then we have the silver, which is 500 cedis per annum. Then we have the gold, which is 1,000 cedis per annum, 3,000 for diamond, and 5,000 for platinum. So please, as my president will say, according to your own love that you have for St. Peter's, you pick and choose. Then for group dues, 2,500 per annum. Sunday, tomorrow morning, we have mass at 7. We are joining the students. And like I told them yesterday, Kizito will be first in the offering. So, because the global president is from Kizito, and his house cannot be last. The global secretary is also from Kizito. Senior Shaba is also from Kizito. Dasebre is also from Kizito. Okay. Senior Kojo Adamensa is also from Kizito. So we have the men. So tomorrow, a very brutal. We also have some of the cloth, the 65th anniversary cloth, 100 cedis per yard if you need some. Thank you all and see you at lunch. If you want to pay your dues, the director of finance is the one in white, Patrick. Pato, give me a wave. Yeah, he's the money man. And we have the Momo, so we have the USSD code, we have the account number itself, which accepts Visa and all the cards that you can think of. Thank you so much, and I'll hand over back to our MC. If you haven't written your name on the attendance sheet, please also do well to put your name there so that we can reach out to you for any information. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So we're going to sing the school's anthem. We invite Nana Kweju Berima, the protocol officer of the St. Peter's School, nicely dressed in his presidential suit. He has a coat of arms on, meaning he wants to be a president. So Nana, over to you. Please let's cooperate with our brother as he leads us to sing the anthem. Maybe you give us a tune and then you sing it. You sing it with us, okay? One more announcement, please. When we finish singing, I think we should allow Dasebre to file, Dasebre and the team on the high table to file out before we all do. So then we'll take some pictures. The pictures will be taken downstairs. But please, let's be sure that Dasebre leaves before we attempt to also go out. Thank you very much. And then we'll take pictures downstairs.
Youth, O St. Peter's, our standard is raised. What south, west, and south rally around. True dignity of our own human race. The school's maxim, the school's motto must resound. Dignitati homino. Dignitati hominum, true to dignity. of men in all the world. Dignitati homino. Dignitati homino. True to dignity of men in all the world.
So let's with respect, please, let's allow Dasibre to file out.